Coming up this week, we've got a game about retrieving lost socks from a cursed washing machine, a simulator where you can make your own wine, but sadly not drink it, and a post-apocalyptic management game featuring planet-eating space whales. To keep up to date with all things indie gaming, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to get notifications so you never miss a video. At the recent Nintendo Indie World Showcase, Konami announced GetsuFumaDen Undying Moon, a sequel to a long-forgotten 1987 Nintendo game, and one often linked with the Castlevania series. Developed by indie studio Guru, the game is due for release on the Nintendo Switch next year, but for those who can't wait that long, it gets a very welcome early access launch this week on PC by way of Steam. The plot is pretty simple. You play as GetsuFuma, and it's your job to rid the world of evil spirits that have escaped from hell. Similar in many ways to Dead Cells, the game is an action roguelite with a sprawling Metroidvania style map. The graphics are heavily inspired by ukiyo-e, a form of Japanese art that flourished in the 17th and 19th centuries, and featured woodblock print and paintings of culture of the time. There are platforming elements, but those are largely there to serve the strategic combat, which, inspired by real-life martial arts, is Souls-like in style, with precision timing and dodges required to fall enemies. All of this builds to boss fights the size of the screen. As a special bonus, those who buy the early access version of the game on Steam will receive a port of the original 1987 Japanese Famicom game. GetsuFumaDen Undying Moon is a moving painting of a game that should reinvigorate a long dormant series. Check it out now on the PC via Steam. Games featuring foxes, or what I like to call the fox sim, have become increasingly popular in recent years. We've had The First Tree, Spirit of the North, and Lost Ember, and now we've got The Companion. The game is part third-person open-world adventure, part narrative walking sim. Told over a series of acts, a family mystery unfolds. As a three-tailed spirit fox, it's your job to scour the luminously populated land for memories, or visions of the past, which are often found in non-chronological order. You collect light orbs or essence, which acts as a form of currency, allowing you to send out will-o'-the-wisp markers to lead you to your next objective. The game looks stunning. The sandbox acts each feature different locations, from dense woodlands to snowscapes and to vast open fields. And don't be surprised if you end up stopping to take in the beauty of your surroundings. It really does look that good, and sounds great too. The euphonious soundtrack further heightens the cinematic experience. The gameplay loop is a little bit repetitive at times. You chase a trailing light to a memory, watch a vision, and then on to the next. But new abilities introduced as you progress help mix things up a little, and ultimately it's the piecing together of the story that makes the game so memorable. The Companion is another great fox sim that will leave its mark. Check it out now on the PC by way of Steam. In 100 Days, a winemaking simulator, you take on the role of a virtual vintner, a master of craft that has lasted for centuries. Before making any decisions, you'll have to do your research by learning about the seasons and discovering the importance of bacteria and yeast. You'll have to choose the best grapes, find the right place to grow them, and how and when to tend to them. Later, you'll be able to experiment with different winemaking techniques and create your brand to put to market. Like any good simulator, you'll have to balance your resources and manage your time. The choices you make will have ramifications later, particularly with regards to the quality of your wine and how successful your business becomes. 100 Days features a gorgeous low polyisometric art style and a suitably soporific score. If you enjoy a tipple now and again, want to develop your palate and craft the perfect vintage, or perhaps you've always wondered how wine is made from grapes to glass, well 100 Days is the game for you. It's educational, it's immersive, and it's on PC and consoles now. Lost Ruins is a sumptuous pixel art Metroidvania reminiscent of the Momodora series, particularly Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. You take on the role of a young heroine who awakens in an underground maze with amnesia. For reasons unknown, you've been summoned to another dimension, and with the help of a witch named Beatrice, a goblin merchant, and a couple of pop music loving zombies, you go on a quest for answers. As you journey through the gorgeous environments, you'll face off against a host of creative enemies and challenging bosses. The Souls-like combat takes place in real time. You can't just button mash to defeat enemies, you'll have to learn enemy patterns, use your dodge roll to evade attacks, and wait for the right time to land a blow. Things can get quite challenging, but luckily a save point is never too far away, and the game features accessibility options for those who just want to play for the story. With its large inventory system, Lost Ruins has a lot in common with RPG dungeon crawlers. You can wield a vast number of weapons, from swords to bows and arrows to throwable objects such as dynamite. You can equip special abilities, use magic to cast spells and manage supplies. All items have different attributes and status effects, which add a strategic element to the gameplay. After smashing its Kickstarter goals, Lost Ruins looks set to be another great entry in the Metroidvania genre. Look out for this one this week on various PC storefronts. The Hand of Merlin is a turn-based roguelite set in the world of Arthurian Britain. The game subverts typical Arthurian legend stories by adding a cosmic element and alternative dimensions. Gameplay takes place in several stages. First you select your heroes. You start with a warrior, a mage and an archer, but you can later unlock other characters and classes, and then you select spells from Merlin's core to take into battle. You move from one node to another on an overworld map. Each node triggers different events and offers different rewards. After selecting a node, you're faced with a series of choose your own adventure style options which may or may not lead to combat. Once in battle, take turns to move your team around an isometric grid. Attack from close range or from distance, cast spells, set up ambushes and create synergies with your different hero classes. Spend your attack points wisely as you work to overcome the enemy. Heroes can be lost and recruited, but choices and death are permanent in this game. In many ways, the Hand of Merlin reminds me a lot of fellow turn-based roguelike Darkest Dungeon, but with a 3D aesthetic. If you enjoyed that game, I'd definitely pick this one up, as the early access build features plenty of content and will only get better. In recent weeks, we've been spoilt with relaxing management games to get lost in. We've had the adorable Spirit Scout Adventuring of Cozy Grove, the early access release of Dwarf Romantic, and the console port of self-replicating robot simulator, The Colonists. Now we have Before We Leave, a non-violent city builder set in a post-apocalyptic universe to add to the list. After 12 months of exclusivity on the Epic Games Store, the game gets a new lease of life this week on the Steam Store. In Before We Leave, you manage a group of settlers known as Peeps, who have newly surfaced after generations underground. Your Peeps will need to research the land, build shelter, uncover lost secrets, and do what they do best, grow potatoes. There's no combat in the game, although you will face dangers from ancient guardians and giant planet-eating space whales. With its lovely art style, superbly designed hexagonal building map, orchestral soundtrack, and let's not forget those space whales, Before We Leave is a resource management sim you're going to struggle to put down. Check it out now on the PC via the Epic Games Store and now Steam. This week's Game of the Week is Sockventure, a highly polished precision platformer that fans of Super Meat Boy and Celeste will love. In the game, you play a sock hero on a mission to help a child recover missing socks from a cursed washing machine. It's a rather bizarre plot, but the gameplay is sublime. It's clear that a lot of love and care has gone into this game, and that the developers have a great understanding of the genre and what makes an addictive platformer. The 200 levels are meticulously crafted, split into 7 main chapters and 3 dark worlds. The latter need to be unlocked and feature some of the most brutal sections of the game. Each platform, each trap, each switch is perfectly placed, so that speeding through levels feels fluid and satisfying. The pace of the game is electric. When you get to the end of a level, you'll be amazed at what you did to get there. You'll discover new abilities, such as a double jump, a dash, a ground slam, and more. As you'd expect, with new moves come new dangers and more intricately structured levels. Along with that, more sore thumbs. Death is always the player's fault in this one, and it's often the result of a mistimed jump, a misdirected dash, or just the wrong press of a button. Some levels require a bit of trial and error, but the Meat Boy-esque instant restart never makes it frustrating. There's also accessibility options in the settings menu to make progress a little bit more manageable if required. Most people should be able to see the end of the game in about 5 hours, however each chapter has several additional challenges to add to the replay value. These include collectible coins, socks to find, which you can wear, no death runs to attempt, and time trials to beat. All in all, Sockventure is an excellent hardcore platformer that looks gorgeous, plays like a dream, and keeps you coming back for more. For that reason, it's our indie game of the week. It's out now on the PC via Steam, and it's one that shouldn't be missed. Next week, we have a stylish 3D runner created by Neil Ariel Knight-Jones. Never Yield has been designed for players who love to speedrun games, but it's also an experience that casual players will enjoy. Run, jump, slide, or dash for acrobatic variants which lead to cool combos as you avoid the challenges that await. And if you fancy playing Never Yield early, there's a demo available now on most platforms. To keep up to date with all things indie, please subscribe to the I Love Indies channel and also hit that bell icon to get notifications of new uploads. And that's a fact, got it like that. One time for your mind, bring it right back. Running the game, and I'm on the right track. I'm running the game, and I'm on the right track. I'll leave you with the trailer for a game finally getting its Steam release this week after 12 months of exclusivity on the Epic Games Store. Huntdown released to much fanfare last year. It got rave reviews, primarily due to its pixel-perfect run-and-gun shooter gameplay. For someone who spent many a day in the local arcades on coin-up shooters, this game is a nostalgic dream. Until next time everyone, keep loving indies.
Where crime rules the streets. When the citizens are in trouble, they call the authorities. When the authorities are in trouble, they call the bounty hunters. Showtime! Anaconda. She knows the meaning of life. That's why she can take it away so easily. I'll blow your head off! Her jacket size says 38. Special. And her favorite smell is fear. Die! John Sawyer. Cyborg. He's been a man since he was a boy. Enjoy your flight. Everything he owns is made out of metal. Oh, reliable. His blood type spells AK-47. Get out of my sight! Though he only donates other people's blood. Yeah. Horror has a name. It's Mo-Man. But those who stand in the killer machine's path know him by the name Grim Reaper. Why don't they just sterilize the population? He knows everything except mercy. Empathy module not responding. When Mo-Man looks at you, you look at your grave. Batter up, strike. You may hunt down those who have it coming. Get up, do your job! Too bad, they all have it coming. The Hoodlum Dolls. Yeah. The Misconducts. The Heat Seekers. The #1 suspects. Hunt them down and make a healthy living by making living unhealthy. In Huntdown.